Hey everyone, this is Scott from the Forgot to Grow Up podcast. Welcome to another edition of ReWatching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Today I'm going to be talking about Season 3, Episode 5, 4,722 Hours. I'm just going to be starting off with the plot summary and then just talking about some general elements, foreshadowing, and Easter egg elements that I enjoyed about this episode. So let's just start with that plot summary, which says Simmons agrees to tell Fitz of her 6 months on the alien planet. After being dragged through the portal, she finds herself on an apparently sunless desert planet where she came across a pool of water and an alien life form inhabiting it, allowing her to sustain herself until she met stranded astronaut Will Daniels. Daniels had traveled through the portal with a team of scientists in 2001 when the monolith was in possession of NASA. But over time they had been driven mad, that's the scientists, had been driven mad by the planet and an evil entity upon it, each eventually dying. Simmons realizes that the opening of the portal can be predicted by studying the stars and the alignment of the planet's moons, and over months they were able to anticipate the opening of the portal. When they missed it, Simmons lost hope but found solace with Daniels and fell in love with him. When they saw Fitz's flare, Simmons was able to make it to him while Daniels distracted the evil entity. Now Simmons wants to reopen the portal so that they can return to save Daniels, which Fitz agrees to help with. So that's the plot summary. I really enjoyed this episode. This is one of my favorite episodes of this season, if not one of my probably my top 10 favorite of the whole series, because I just really enjoyed the way that this kind of takes us out of the normal pace of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., but at the same time still giving us a classic Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. story, telling us where Simmons was during those 6 months on that planet, giving us a nice, cool, quick run, well, not quick because it's throughout the whole episode, but a cool rundown of what she experienced, what she went through, seeing the kind of transition she goes through throughout this episode. I really dig this episode. So yeah, the transition she goes through, I just kind of mentioned that, but I really enjoy that. She starts off, when she first gets stranded, she's just classic Simmons, scientisting it up. You see at the beginning of the episode she's recording messages about the different scientific things she's noticing about this planet, and I just really enjoy that they showed that aspect, that she's sticking to who she is at first, what she knows best, but as time progresses, at which we keep getting the countdown per hours, or the count up by hours, we see how long she's there by the hours they keep putting at the bottom of the screen. And so, over time, she, eventually stops caring as much about the sciencey parts and more is more about, okay, I need water, I need food, I need to survive. And I really enjoyed that element that you get to see her kind of progress in having to survive on her own. And because she's not one of the ones who's trained to do that. She's not like May, who's got, kind of like the military type training where she could, some types of survival training. She's just Simmons. She's a scientist, but she's so resourceful and so well trained over the first few seasons and all the experiences she's already gone through that she's able to survive this alien planet, obviously with the help of the astronaut Will, which I thought was a cool character to add into there. I like the fact that at first they kind of butting heads, which you get in a lot of things, that's how things work, but then they eventually obviously fall in love, which I get. If you think you're stranded on an alien planet and there's only one other person there, you're gonna fall in love. And I feel bad for Fitz a little bit in this situation, but Fitz is the good guy who, offers to still help, because that's the kind of guy Fitz is. That's why I love Fitz, he's so great. But yeah, so I really enjoyed this episode. What else did I write down? I already talked about that. Gemma starts losing hope and then falls for him. I like that they added that to it, that you can only have hope for so long. It was 6 months she was gone for, 6 months on an alien planet. So I get that she lost hope eventually, but as soon as she saw that flare, she just sprints. She kept her cardio up during those 6 months apparently, because she went pretty far pretty quickly. Obviously there's cutscene a little bit, but still, that was pretty impressive that she was able to do that. And I just enjoyed that, that immediate kind of oh snap, they were having their own moment. She had accepted being on that alien planet. And then she sees that flare and she's like, oh, stop, Fitz is coming. I really like that aspect of it. Yeah, and I really enjoyed that this, in the rewatch, you learn that evil entity has a little bit more meaning to it throughout this season. And I really enjoyed that it's kind of like a little teaser in a sense. So you get this mystery, evil entity that we don't know anything about, and obviously for those of us who've already seen the series, we know that eventually it becomes, I believe it's Hive, right, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, I really enjoyed that. We get this little teaser, and that it plays out more throughout this season, which I'm excited to get back to rewatching throughout, rewatching and rediscovering that storyline with Hive and how it plays into this season. So I'm excited to get to those. And yeah, we see at the end of the episode that Will apparently survives, but we're not really sure. And that's one of those things I can't remember. I can't remember if he's already been taken over by Hive or the evil entity, if I mistakenly named Hive the wrong one. But yeah, be sure to let me know, guys, in the comments below. But don't give up Will's story, because I do want to check that out once I get to it throughout this season. But be sure to let me know what elements of this episode you liked or didn't like in the comments below. Thanks for joining me again, and have a good one.